Good morning. Well, I woke up at 3 this morning and I rewrote this 25 times in my mind. I don't know why. But when I was first asked to share a reflection on nurturing beauty, there was a voice in my head. And it sounded like Dr. McCoy from Star Trek. It says, "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a philosopher, student." And it's like, but I got over it. It's like being part of the Worship Arts Committee is kind of cool because they gave me this sort of assignment to think on. And I don't think of stuff like nurturing beauty. I'm an air conditioning engineer, Radiators are beautiful to me, But I started thinking about it, and soon I became curious. And that curiosity led to new thoughts and ideas. And it was fun. What a surprise. When I started thinking about nurturing beauty, I needed a starting place. What is beauty? How do you define it? Is it objective, subjective, or both? I'm often in front of a computer or with my iPad nearby, so it was easy. I'll ask Google. Google was not feeling very philosophical or reflective. Google was in a consumer state of mind. I got a long list of beauty products and hair salons. I was offered a place to get laser hair removal and a bikini wax. What was Google trying to tell me? I tried to refine my search, and I found out that women were targeted much more about their beauty. What about men? Are you talking about outer beauty, inner beauty, fashion or form? Google, are you really suggesting that I go to the Kardashian website? I don't think so. So I had to guide Google a little bit to make it more philosophical. Even then, most definitions seemed limited to visual things. Sunrises and sunsets, art and skyscrapers, fancy cars, interior design. We have 5 senses. Don't you think there's more than just visual beauty? What about smell? I think the smell of the ocean or bread cooking, my favorite. Smells can be beautiful, and they can lead us to beauty. What about music? Oh my gosh, what a way to connect to beauty is through music. And there's also the wind rustling through the leaves of trees, the crash of ocean waves. And then there's taste and touch. 2 words, cookies and hugs. Okay. But beauty's more than just the senses. There's beauty in thoughts and emotions. What is beautiful is also a matter of taste, but not tongue taste, but subjective judgment. Something beautiful to one person may not be beautiful to another. I thought on it for a while and I let it be. I switched to other matters, like what's for dinner, But a few days later, I got a message from my subconscious. It's been working on it while I haven't. And what it said to me was, since beauty is subjective, it is what appeals to each person. You can ask them, what do you love? What connects you to love? So the question came to me, is beauty that which connects you to love? I kind of like that. And I sat with it for a few days. It turns out I could do better. I was listening to an audiobook about woodworking. The title is called Good, Clean Fun. And it was written by Nick Offerman, the actor from Parks and Rec fame. He loves woodworking. And being an artist, he brings philosophy to his woodworking process. In the book, he says quite matter-of-factly, and of course, people from India believe that beauty is anything that connects you to, and my ears perked up because is he going to say the same thing that I thought? No. Beauty is anything that connects you to the divine. And it's like, bam. That really hit me. It fit for me, being subjective. What is it that connects you to your sense of awe? What connects you to your connection? This was feeling better to me all the time. Now I felt I could turn to nurturing beauty. I think the first thing is that you have to be open to beauty. It's a state of mind, you know? And however you get there, that's up to each individual, I think. I like to go out in the woods, and if there's no one around, I'll close my eyes and I'll do some breathing exercises just to try and get relaxed and in that state of mind. I also bring my camera. It forces me to pay attention to things outside of my head and leave work and other things behind. Okay, well, if you don't stop and smell the roses now and then, you could suffer. We need beauty in our lives. Sometimes Ann and I go to a museum and view art. Sometimes a concert to listen to music. And right here at UUCR, I've attended many poetry readings, and I've pondered thoughts and words. But my favorite place to connect is nature. To me, the nature of beauty is the beauty of nature. I believe that nature is the source of all other artistic things, too. I've heard music in the wild, and I've seen art in the trees. I thought of poems while canoeing across a fog-shrouded lake. I stood on the edge of the Grand Canyon and let the awe of space and time come over me. I've been there when my children were born. It filled me with awe. Nature reflects me, and I reflect it right back. It's my favorite way to nurture the beauty that I feel and see. Last week, actually 2 weeks ago now, there was an astronomical event happening just before dawn. 4 planets were lining up vertically in the southeast sky. I got up early, and I made a cup of coffee, bundled it up. It was still a little cold out. And I walked to the back of our neighborhood. We have a hill that faces southeast. And I was looking over a meadow. And at the bottom of the meadow and to the left were trees. You know, we back up the parkland. It's beautiful up there. And it was dark, and I could see my breath. And I looked up, and 2 of the planets were there, but the other 2 were covered by clouds. So I said, well, maybe before the dawn, we'll get a little wind and blow those clouds out of the way so I can see what I came to see. It never happened. But it was no big deal, because while I sat there in the dark, the sky started getting gray, and the birds woke up, and they started singing and twittering, and just the gratitude that I felt was amazing. It's like they were singing, another day, we made it, another day. I was with them, and there we go. There was songbirds, there was twittering birds, there's everything. And I thought to myself, this is like nature's orchestra. And here I am for the concert. And the only thing missing, me being an old trombone player and the bass in the choir, I said, we don't have any bass. And I swear, the bullfrogs started singing. Boom, boom. And I said, this is just about perfect. And so I took that and I said, nurturing beauty is not a bad way to start the day. I'm going to sing a couple songs, one now and one a little later, that make me feel connected to nature. So I hope you like them too. I'll get started.
A smile is a powerfully beautiful thing. In the words of the revered Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. According to psychologist Dr. Ronald Riggio, smiling is like throwing a feel-good party in your brain. Smiling floods your brain with dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. Suddenly your mood is lifted with no unpleasant pharmaceutical side effects. Smiling makes you beautiful. When you smile, others view you as more attractive. And when someone smiles at you, you actually feel rewarded. Smiling is contagious. The cingulate cortex, part of your brain, responsible for helping you form a smile and for mimicking the expression of others, each time you smile at someone, they nearly always smile back. By smiling at family, friends, and the people you meet throughout the day, you release happy chemicals in your brain and coax others to smile back, returning the favor. In addition, I would like to add that your beautiful smile can sow the seeds of hope in others. I would like to share with you how some incredible, beautiful smiles have made me feel happy and hopeful throughout my life. Maybe some of my reflections will bring back pleasant memories of smiles and laughter for you too. Third grade was a really tough year in school for me. It was the first time I had a teacher who openly expressed her frustration and anger in the classroom. Each morning I was anxious to the point of nausea, wondering if my teacher was going to have a good day or a bad day. What got me through that school year? Knowing that without fail, I would see my mother's smiling face when I came home from elementary school. Not only was I guaranteed a smile, but also a big hug and a snack. And sometimes that snack was even soft ginger snap cookies fresh from the oven. So Wayne, I agree with you with the cookies and the hug. Knowing my mother's smile was waiting for me at home every day sowed the seeds of hope in me that there were lots of kind, nurturing adults in the world. Laughter creates beauty too in the world. I was lucky to grow up in a neighborhood where we were within walking distance of 2 huge swimming pools. My dad would always play with my brother and me in the pool. Sometimes my dad was a shark stalking us underwater. Sometimes my dad was a gentle whale and we would ride on his back. And best of all would be when Dad would throw us up into the air over and over again and scoop us out of the water. We would be laughing until our cheeks hurt. Knowing my dad's laughter and his protective nature as he never failed to scoop us up out of the water sowed the seeds of hope in my brother and me that there were strong, happy adults in the world that are always there to catch us when we fall. Naturally, we can't be smiling all the time. There were definitely times when my mom was not smiling at me when I tormented my little brother. I'm glad my brother has forgiven me. And I learned what the term swearing like a sailor meant when my dad tried to make repairs on our ailing Chevrolet Malibu station wagon, if those of you in the 70s remember those. But the most important life lesson my parents taught me was that each morning I have a choice. I can choose to be happy and shine love on others, or I can choose to be sad and be consumed with my own worries. As John Milton wrote in Paradise Lost, the mind is its own place and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven. My memories of my paternal grandmother are mixed. On the one hand, she loved my brother and me completely, and she was so proud of our achievements. But on the other hand, she rarely smiled, and she lived in a cloud of depression she was never able to escape. Witnessing her struggles did not sow the seeds of hope in me about what growing old would be like. Then, as a young adult, I had an aha moment about aging. I was at the Jazz Festival in San Francisco, and I could see someone in the front row standing by herself and joyfully dancing to the music. As I got closer, I could see the radiant smile beaming on her face. She was slender, brightly dressed, and also a very elderly woman. Seeing this beautiful senior citizen taking charge of her own happiness through smiling and dancing sowed the seeds of hope in me that I can choose to be a happy person throughout my entire life. And yes, I follow her example by dancing nearly every day, Zumba and Bhangra. And our smiles aren't just for family and friends. Our smiles are needed for everyone we meet. One of the things I appreciate about my local grocery store is that they hire staff with special needs. When one of these staff wants to spend extra time chatting with me, I always smile and spend that extra moment. One day last year, I was particularly down, and I was feeling numb and could not find my inner spark. It was that day in the grocery store where one of these very special staff walked up to me and smiled and said, "Hey, I know you. You are the nice lady who always smiles and talks to me." So the smiles I had been sending out into the world in the past were returned to me on one of the days I had lost hope and needed them the most. Her beautiful smile and kindness sowed the seeds of hope in me that my inner spark was going to shine again. As you go out into the world, I ask you to please share your beautiful smile as much as you can. Your smile can truly sow the seeds of hope in yourself and others.